5. Francesco is going to sit there. Actually, I was so focused on that joke. Who's starting?
It is Dimitris instead. So let's see how much he can capitalize off that.
It's a curse of the featured match.
Oh no, look at this. Dimitris sets a card, sets another card, and he's not playing a trap deck usually, so that's no good news for him here. Passing it over to Francesco.
That must feel really nice when you lose the dice roll in top 16 in the featured match. Your opponent just sets 2 and passes. Francesco must be over the moon, but please stay focused in this one because you haven't won that game. There's so many utility options for all day. Oh, goodness gracious. And Seti discard. Horror gets to draw a card, gets to search the King's Sarcophagus. Not even an Ash Blossom here. Dimitris, what do you have in your hand?
Wow, we get to search out the King's Sarcophagus, as you said, and then also draw. And Harp Horror already in the graveyard. That is definitely no downside. That doesn't even feel like a cost for that Seti. It's more of a reward, honestly.
And it's the second time we see a Greek guy getting break in the stream.
Seti is being summoned to the field immediately. I wonder how much the Orcust engine profits from the Horus cards, apart from, of course, you being able to discard your Darkness Machines to the graveyard. Because discarding Harp Horror is very good. We discard Purulia now to send a level 8
It's
Horus.
Fualos, actually.
It is Fualos, but still.
They're very similar.
Here in that scenario, it's basically the same, because you can't activate them anyways. It's good to know that he had it just in case, but Dimitris didn't make any real moves there. So, what are we discarding next? Oh, we're just discarding all. Oh, Armageddon Knight. That's a blast from the past. Phantom Darkness card. And of course, still basically the only deck where you're still playing it in. Duamutiv now alt as well. That's so many attack points already. Those monsters are so big. And we have an even better normal summon than the Armageddon Knight being the Gearsu here.
This is game already.
It would be. It would very much be.
Look at the stare from Francesco and Dimitris going, hey, I know you might have some interruptions from my effects, but how about I just attack you maybe? Maybe even calling Battle Phase immediately, staring Dimitris down. Dimitris is contemplating whether he has any options to stop this onslaught of monsters. Oh, and we're actually activating the Gearsu, so not quite Battle Phase yet. Gearsu sends the Nightmare Orcust to the graveyard. That one boosts attack points.
And also Francesco is locked into darks for the rest of the duel of the game.
I think he's fine.
In fact, he is, and I think Dimitris was holding back there for a little while.
Gizmek Orochi, the Serpentron Sky Slasher hits the graveyard.
You should have seen Leo with that. That's one of his most favorite names to say in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Attack with Gearsu now, and Dimitris is contemplating just, I think the card that we are probably about to see, that is his last resort in this game, might be Super Polymerization, because I have seen it in his main deck list, which is pretty unusual for Snake Eye Azamina decks, but Dimitris has made the decision to include it, so I would not be surprised to see it there.
Super Polymerization is being flipped up, and what do we remove here? Discarding the fusion spell Gearsu and the Seti go for the graveyard, but now Happy and Duamutiv get to trigger.
Yeah, guess what? That's going to be crazy. Mud Dragon summoned.
Oh, that's a very important one. Wait, does Duamutiv doesn't remove, right? Happy adds to the from the graveyard to the hand, and Duamutiv gets to draw. I think Seti is the one that removes cards.
Indeed.
So I was thinking maybe if it doesn't target, you still have a game this turn with Gizmek.
Happy can add up to 2 cards from the graveyard to the hand.
Yeah. Which is not going to be too relevant, actually, because there's plenty of resources that you want to rather keep in the graveyard to utilize them. But Happy is crazy. It's still going to draw you 2 cards for this. And then
you mean Duamutiv, but yeah, absolutely, you're right. They're very confusing.
The thing is, he hasn't even started playing, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, getting back the Seti ain't that bad either, right? You already summoned it out, so you can just have it in the hand again for next turn.
It ain't. You can also add back the Fuvalos for a possible discard next turn for the Seti. And also, it doesn't provide any value in the graveyard, so that is fine. We're going to activate the Gizmek Orochi, the Serpentron Sky Slasher. Banish the top 8 cards of your deck face down. 2,450 attack. What a beaut.
This brings so many memories back.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? It doesn't even really seem like we activated any of the Horus cards. Oh, there it happens now. Okay, we were just chaining the Gizmek on top of things. So Imsadi and Armageddon Knight back to the hand, and then the Dua Mutev. Guess what?
It's different names.
It's going to draw 3 cards now because the Gizmek was chained. Such great sequencing by Francesco, making sure there's another one on the field now.
And I mean, you forced out the biggest interruption. You profited highly from it, and you haven't even started playing. You're still going to deal a lot of damage. I don't think time is going to be the issue here. We have 14 minutes left on the clock. However, not a single Orcust effect is activated in this sequencing.
Not in this one, but Orcust Nightmare, of course, was already activated.
Fair point. But there is still a zombie vampire to be activated, to be summoned. You might even go for just a negate here because you already have everything set up, basically. What else is there in the extra deck of Francesco and Simoncelli that has rank 8? You can actually hard summon Dingirsu. How crazy is that now?
Also, there's the Coach King Giant Trainer, which would, of course, need 3 level 8
3
monsters, which you do currently have, so that might be happening.
Do you want to draw even more cards? That's the big question now.
Yeah, I guess drawing cards is never too bad, but let's see.
Of course, Horus is still in the graveyard, which is very relevant.
Yeah, and oh, wait. Giant Trainer deals 800 damage for each card drawn. So how do we have another way of dealing burn damage? Because that would be absolutely massive.
I mean, it has to be a monster that you have to draw, so it would be a little bit...
The
Oh, but there's
effects of
Dominus
Horus.
Impulse from the hand, right? So, what are we going after here?
I mean, the good thing is we haven't even started activating.
I mean, he can go to Dingirsu, send the back row, or attach from the banishment, and then go to Galatea.
Yeah, true. And I mean, we use that impulse there on the graveyard effect of Harp Horror, right? As far as I'm concerned. So we prevented another Orcust monster coming to the field, but we still can transition into our Orcust part of the deck here quite well with Dingirsu and then Galatea possibly as well.
And I'm pretty sure that Dingirsu can also attach face down cards or only machines from the banishment.
I think it can only be Machine Dark Monster, and as long as there is a specification on the card, it can't choose face-down banished cards.
Okay, let's see. We are going to look through those face-down banished cards, just in case. So, I mean, the way Francesco was looking at them is making me think that maybe that's possible.
I mean, you have so many cards in hand, there is no way ever that you're running out of resources, so I would prefer... I mean, of course, I don't know his hand, and I don't know his deck list so well. Oh, you're actually going to target the Harp Horror. Is Harp Horror still at 1?
By the way, Dingirsu can attach one machine, because back in the day you could attach Kagarians back to the graveyard.
Oh, not even a Dark Machine?
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's big.
That is very big indeed.
So we go into the Galatea. If we hard summon Dingirsu, can we overlay onto Galateo Dingirsu? No, right? There's no way.
There's no way, you say?
No, you can only summon Dingirsu once per turn.
Okay, boring. Okay, Galatea is being summoned. Impermanence is being activated in response, so you don't get to get your orchestrated Babel. What are you doing here in Francesco's shoes? Because now your field is kind of diminished. He's setting a card. Was that really it?
I mean, isn't that enough? Like, just imagine this is going to end up also being the counter trap. I don't know how we counter that.
Do we even play this?
Yeah, we do play, absolutely.
And it's very important that
Oh,
Dimitri's...
and it's over. Look at that. Dimitri's realized there's nothing he can...
Are we going to see the set 2 pass again?
Nah, I think we're going to see some Snake Eye cards being activated here. I'm confident, and Dimitrios looks confident as well. He's not putting cards to the Spell Trap zone. Immediately he goes for Bonfire, and that is immediately going to net him a Snake Eye card in advance.
And I mean, that is a card that is put to the Spell Trap zone, and I think that's going to happen more and more in the combo as well here, but I think this time around he's going to be super happy with that Snake Eye Ash is being added. It is limited to 1 copy per deck, however, if you have the Bonfire to add it, or 20 other cards in your deck, you're going to see it sometimes.
There is now the Snake Eye Ash on the field. Poplar on there as well.
Okay, Basti, so the Snake Eyes deck obviously has changed over the last couple of months. We have seen it for almost a year now in the competition. What are the goals right now for the Snake Eye deck?
Yeah, so I think it has become more and more important to now access the Sinful Spoils part of the deck. Usually, you would only try to go for original Sinful Spoils, and original Sinful Spoils would then bridge into your Snake Eye cards. But now, that Sinful Spoils part is more important because Deception of the Sinful Spoils was released recently in Rota, and therefore you can now, with that, access the Azamina cards. And those are great because not only do you have Azamina Ilya Sylvia, a new fusion monster being a hard negate which you're going to end on. But also, you do have Azamina Murcielago, which is the fusion monster you usually make before that. And Hollowed Azamina is designed in a way that you can just recycle it, so you can fusion summon multiple times with it per turn, and therefore you just have very, very powerful fusion monsters. And in that case of Dimitrios Raphaelidis, those Azamina cards have just completely replaced the Fiendsmith cards that were used before with the Snake Eye deck.
Indeed, it was just because Impulse is very strong, and you would rather have Impulse in your deck rather than Fiendsmith.
Yeah,
And speaking of Azamina, the set card is a Deception that will give access to Azamina Hallowed in order to bring up your fusion.
Indeed, so that game plan is working out nicely for Dimitrios. There is the Deception of the Sinful Spoils, activating its effect, sending the Snake Idea Bellstar, and that is going to now add us that Hollowed Azamina. I think Dimitrios drew this card on the first game.
Yeah.
Now he's able to do what he is supposed to do with it, searching it off of the Deception and now activating it to Fusion Summon.
And I want to see how Orcust fares against this kind of a field afterwards, because yes, the two set cards, they weren't really too strong, and actually it felt like after the super polymerization, Francesco didn't have too much going for him afterwards. So now we're going to see how this pans out when Dimitrios actually gets to put up a full field. However, I also saw that there were Ash Blossoms and Impermanences in Francesco's hand in the last game, so he apparently plays hand traps, he just hasn't thrown any yet.
That is correct. Maybe he just also didn't draw them, but right now it's Dimitrios piloting, Dimitrios being in the lead. Still hasn't used the second effect of Snake Eye Ash to summon out a potential Flamberge. I mean, we may as well go for another level 1. Most likely Snake Eye Oak first. Yep, there it is. So, I mean, you're still, of course, playing the original Snake Eye cards, and those were the reason why Snake Eye in the first place always was that strong, and they are now just supported in a different way with those Azamina cards.
I'm gonna say now, I was a big Orcust enjoyer when it was the top dog, when it was the best deck to beat. However, there is now a card that wasn't around back then, that is SP Little Knight, and I think SP Little Knight is incredible against the Orcust deck. You can banish those Harp Horrors, and then you can actually banish those valuable graveyard targets once again when they're on the field and an effect is activated. So I think that IP into SP is a crazy combo specifically against Orcust.
You are so right. That is absolutely true. So I think Dimitrios pretty safely is trying to set that up in the most original Snake Eye way of probably placing that IP Masquerena into the Spell and Trap zone with the Snake Eyes Flamberge.
And of course, SP has the effect to banish not only from the field but also from the graveyard, which is very relevant in this matchup.
Yes. So I'm happy that Dimitrios now gets to show off his combo at least, because game 1 was quite sad when he just set 2 cards and then was basically fighting an uphill battle from there. Oh, look at that. That looks like Saryuja maybe? Ling 4 incoming using all 4 of those. Yes, this is a card recently included into Snake Eye Azamina strategies as well. You cannot bring out the Appaloosa anymore, as that card is at the moment forbidden, but you may as well draw 4 cards through that Saryuja instead.
I mean, calm down, yeah? You have to put 3 back.
All right.
Which is very important
right.
for side deck, since you can access your side.
Yeah, that is actually huge now that players are side decking those trap cards. Solemn Judgment, Different Dimension Ground would be big here. Even a Dimensional Barrier would have some use, I suppose.
Probably rather Anti-Spell Fragrance or Skill Drain. Those cards seem to be quite nice.
Oh, what a wild guess, Buzz.
And of course, Cosmic Cyclone.
Oh, see, Cosmic Cyclone is also very insane against Orcus, especially with the Horus engine.
Yeah,
Exactly,
100%.
because Galatea sets the card, and also, of course, Sarcophagus.
Yeah, draw phase Cosmic Cyclone onto the orchestrated bubble would also be huge.
Yeah, but it looks like Dimitrios definitely has a well-designed combo here, thought this one through quite strong, and he's now going to summon out the Princess, and Princess brings back the Flamberge Dragon, and in a heartbeat is gone again because we're linking into a Link 4 here with the Raging Phoenix now. Leo, Solomon Grades are back as well. What a time to be alive.
I am so happy about this. Raging Phoenix is the best Link monster in the game because it searches out a Salomon Grade card if you special summon it or if you Link summon it.
Ah, he missed out on that part here though.
Yeah, I don't know why they always forget those things.
Ilya Sylvia now being the second Azamina fusion monster, fusion summon. As we said, Hollowed Azamina can recycle itself, and that's what they did there. And now the World Dragon Zelantis, World Sea Dragon Zelantis is being summoned and reorganizing the field in a way there, using its effect. And honestly, this looks somewhat minimalistic. Yeah, it's not the craziest combo field. It's not like a Jubel field. It's not like a Mermail field. So let's see whether Francesco can find a way through this.
However, it has so many things going on.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the field is very strong, meaning that IP will be probably brought up in the trophies, probably, and also in the graveyard there is Princess.
No. Main phase
Oh,
is
wow.
going to be the Orcust Harp Horror summoned out.
I mean, there is no reason not to SP here.
Let's see.
I would actually agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, we can also just wait a little, because what is that Harp Horror doing right now, necessarily? They always need another card, so why not wait?
It looks threatening. I don't know.
There's not even the monster you can attack over, because Ilya Sylvia, in fact, is 1,900 attack points. Oh,
No.
are we in the battle phase? It seems like we are in the battle phase. Okay, Harp Horror attacking.
I'm very curious.
Okay, it was brought into the
Are we
graveyard
going
now.
to see some kind of an evenly matched play now, so that we have basically stopped our opponent from summoning an IP by normal summoning Harp Horror? That would be super cool. I just haven't seen it evenly matched in a while.
Yeah, we are in main phase 2 also as well, so that evenly match is not going to happen. Harp Horror effect happening though, so we are going to special summon out Girsu from the deck.
So we just don't really have any plays.
Yeah, that looked desperate there. Normal summon Harp Horror to attack into an Ilya Sylvia.
Does Orcust can break all this field and also all the resources that Snake Eye has on main phase 2 though? Because Dimitri will obviously take a turn.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Absolutely. And I mean, 3 set cards are also quite a statement from Dimitris. He was not happy setting 2 cards on the first game, but setting 3 here after comboing is quite the statement.
Yeah, I think the after comboing is the most important part about that one. Setting 3
Agreed.
cards in this turn would have also been pretty annoying for him. I'm very sure about that. But normal summoning Snake Eye Ash, resolving it, and then going into Snake Eye's Poplar. I'm not going to do this, don't worry.
Okay,
But
we
Dimitris
sent
did it.
Nightmare.
Girsu is always is at this moment treated as a tuner also, which is very important.
True.
And now I think we're just going to go for SP Little Knight. And Mike, you said it earlier, banishing from the graveyard can be very important here. You can also banish the Girsu from the field, actually. I think both banishes would hurt a lot here.
Yeah, and I like the field organization here by Dimitris, because we summon the the SP Little Knight now into a main monster zone. The only thing that's a little concerning to me is that it is summoned into a potential relinquished anima zone. On the other hand, you're playing against Orcus. They're not really known to play a lot of level 1 monsters, so I think you're fine on that.
There is Bombards.
True. That card was used back then, sometimes. Rarely. Now, the hidden effect of Oak is activated that you can also add back the Snake Eye Ash from your graveyard to your hand. However, I don't think it has any targets anymore after this. But
Standards for hidden effects have become low, and this is the hidden effect of Snake Eye Oak, but
That is
sure, I
true.
will give it to you.
Actually, Snake Eye, did you know that Snake Eye Ash has a hidden effect that you can send another card from the
You can
field to the
special
graveyard?
summon from the deck,
Wow,
you know
yeah.
that?
That's crazy. But now Dimitris is being a little confused, because you don't have to target your own monster with the Orcust Nightmare. You can also target a monster on your opposing side of the field to send something from the deck to the graveyard. And now you're pushing the Ilya Sylvia.
Probably for a wand in order to bring back something from the banishment. Or Gizmek.
Gizmek.
There we go.
Leo.
My beloved boy.
Yeah, beginning of the weekend, if I would have told you that you're going to see Gizmek on the featured match, even in top 16, would you have believed me?
Of course, it is the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! That has ever been printed.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Actually,
Activating
I've
Gizmek.
one in Collector's Wear that is basically on my work desk, and I look at it from time to time.
I know, you're in love with this card.
I am. Gizmek Orochi, the Serpentron Sky Slasher, or in German, Gizmek Orochi, der Schlangotron Himmelsschlitzer.
That's one even nicer.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Bless you, Leo, bless you.
That's a little German lesson for you guys.
Alrighty. So we brought out the Gizmek Orochi. You don't have to say the full name once again.
Don't worry, I'm super fine with doing
So
it.
the reason that the body was in hand.
Insadi, but is there possible?
Called by would be insane. No, Ilya Sylvia
Or
is
he
going
can
to
just
be
negate it with the Azamina.
Yeah, now King Sarcophagus Heart Roll would be huge.
And
But we can start playing.
using the Whirlwind.
Why are we able to play here? Dingirsu, we have... I mean, there are still 3 set cards. Do any of them do anything here?
Oh, of course, the Super Polymerization is going to do a whole lot, taking care of both monsters on Francesco's side here.
Tis a little much Snake Eye Ash discard. This is marvelous. Dimitris is going to go for some plays here, summons out the Garura. I'm very curious how he found space in the extra deck for that. Francesco packs up.
And in we go. And Leo, this deck may just be your most favorite deck of all time, because there is not only the Gizmo Orochi, but also Cosmic Cyclones in the side deck.
Wow.
And you are apparently also in love now with deck Lockdown, so it doesn't stop there. Oh, and again we do start off with the Amseti, discarding the half horror. Wow, the crowd is already cheering, already celebrating. What a start for Francesco here in this third game.
Just look at the stare when he knows that he did something phenomenal looking at his opponent.
He's ice cold, man. Ice cold like a dark machine, man. Holy. And there's the King Sarcophagus now activated.
And imagine he's going to a full combo here. He can now discard cards, and most of them are going to bring extra value.
It doesn't stop the
gracious.
Nightmare as well.
Can send. You can even secure yourself from something like a Nibiru here. You can go for the Photon Exceeds monster. You can, of course, go into the zombie vampire. What rank 8s are there? I think I've asked you this earlier. I don't know if we got to it.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I would have expected that Photon Lord to be there, but it actually, funnily enough, isn't. And the amount of rank 8s is limited. It's the zombie vampire and then also the Coach King Giant Trainer, but that's about it, actually.
And Dingirsu, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, true. I always forget that you have to also be able to summon that as a rank 8. Oh my, it doesn't stop. He drew all of the Orcust. Imagine there would have been an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring on the Amseti, but luckily there wasn't, because then he would have had a whole lot of Orcust monsters there in his hand. But now it works out beautifully with that resolving.
At this point, after side decking, going first, do you just go for the coach?
Yes. 100%. I talked with him about that. You're trying to draw those cards. You're trying to, for example, draw into deck Lockdown, which is crazy. Also, in the process, if you draw monsters, you're going to put life point damage onto Dimitris as well, which, I mean, we have 7.5 minutes, but surely can't be bad to be ahead in life points already.
Yeah, it's never bad.
Indeed. So let's see. 1, 2, okay, another one maybe? Okay, it is.
He has deck Lockdown in hand.
Oh, he already has it? Then we don't have to draw.
I mean, I'm guessing.
Possibly, yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, we're still contemplating how many Exceed materials this is going to be.
Yeah.
And of course, let's go all in. Let's go all the way. We go for the big Coach King Giant Trainer.
You're a fire, baby. There's another fire monster.
Oh, but there's infinite impermanence. That's a bit of a punishment to go for that. Yeah. Because we committed 3 monsters into that 1 Giant Trainer.
Well,
yeah,
and
but
now,
however, there are 3 Orcust in the graveyard. I mean.
So now we start playing with our main engine.
All right, so activating the Orcust Nightmare next.
And they're a crazy guy. Half this deck is traps. What is happening there? So we're going to send now, I think, the Wand. Do we actually still have a target for Harp Horror in the deck? Do we play multiple skeleton?
There's Gitsu.
Oh, of course there always.
We have 2024.
Yeah, I think Gitsu was after you played the deck, right?
I'm sorry, Mike. Yeah, that is actually true.
So we get to Link 2 now, which usually would be when it involves an Orcust monster, a Galatea, and it also is here, being summoned into the extra monster zone. The Orcust Automaton.
Would you go here for Crescendo or Return?
We'll see. I don't even know whether he runs return, actually. Oh, yeah, there's 1 return. Oh, but we do instead go for the third option available, where we go for Orchestrated Babel. And Babel, since the beginning of days, I always like Babel the most, because Babel gave you the option to play on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
Sure, Crescendo kind of gives you that option as well by just negating something on your opponent's turn, but Babel feels like so much more, right? It lets your engine play on the opponent's turn, gives you sense with Dingirsu and all that kind of stuff. It feels way more valuable to me.
It provides a lot more follow-up as well. It provides a non-targeting send, which can be more impactful in some matchups.
Yeah, agreed.
And if your opponent removes it with something like Abby's Feather Duster, you can just add it back to hand.
That is absolutely true.
And also it helps playing around Bestials, which is relevant.
Oh, that's actually a very, very good point. And I think Dimitris was playing Bestials in his main deck, so they're certainly still in there. And there were formats where I was saying, yeah, Orcust is hardly playable at all at the moment because Bestials were so prevalent. So Bestials definitely usually a huge counter to the deck, but now with the Babel up, we're playing around it easily.
I think we will see the classic Orcust combo, summoning Dingirsu, attaching the Horror, and then go to IP Masquerena.
That would be cool too. You always ended up on IP Masquerena as well with the orchestrated Babel, recycling some of those resources. Most of the time actually with the wand that you then attached with the Dingirsu because you barely had any other way of recurring it. And yeah, back in the day you summoned Unicorn most of the time, which is a little bit of a...
We got an upgrade on the Unicorn end, yeah.
I want to say that too,
SP Little Knight is the new and cool version of Unicorn, basically.
Even though Unicorn also wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I would never say that. So using Dingirsu now to attach.
Oh, and there's another card, and I really, Basti, please tell me that he's playing this, that he's playing one of the those Topologic Bomber Dragon or the Topologic Zeroboros, because going into those with IP Masquerena and then using Babel was so incredible.
Yeah, but using the classic technologies, we do use Topologic Bomber Dragon in our extra deck, and I agree with you thoroughly that that's the coolest thing to do ever.
Yeah, but
oh, and there is the deck lockdown on top of all of that. That's a massive card. We were talking about it in the side-decking process, and indeed, Francesco found it in his opening hand here to pretty much the icing on the cake here to his fields.
The only read that we can tell is that the set card is probably Crescendo, since it needs a Link Orcust monster to be activated, and that's why probably Francesco chose not to go to IP Masquerena.
Good point. Very good read, yeah.
Very good catch there. And I want to say, Basti, you said it's the icing on the cake. I think that the Orcust combo is the icing and that the deck lockdown is the cake, because this card is just so incredibly strong in this format. Every single deck searches so many cards or tries to special summon. People are going crazy over Dominus Impulse. Deck lockdown just prevents them from playing altogether.
I mean, at this time, there is deck lockdown, probably Crescendo, in my opinion, and of course a full graveyard of Orcust.
Okay.
It is a very scary board.
Main phase has been entered here by Dimitris.
And at this point, with the setup that you have, the deck lockdown is not stopping you at all. Oh, look at the laughing from Francesco.
He's smiling.
Back, Dimitris is checking his option.
Oh gosh. When we're activating effects now out of nowhere, that must mean we're like
there is pass priority probably.
I feel like we might be going into the end phase here.
Dimitris.
Why would you do that end of main? There's no real reason for it, right?
No, I agree.
So we go Skeleton.
I mean, nobody right now is playing evenly matched, right? For some reason.
And even then, you probably have Orcust Crescendo for its set anyways.
Yeah, and then you don't have to banish all your cards.
It may be end phase.
It is end
Dimitris
phase.
was thinking about a Beastal maybe, but he will try to keep it as a defense in Francesco's turn.
Oh my,
Francesco.
This is looking crazily good for Francesco. He keeps on going now in the end phase, also activating all those effects that are still usable under the deck lockdown. And one more time, Leo, what card has been sent to the graveyard?
Gizmek Orochi, the Serpentron Sky Slasher, hits the field, is being special summoned in the end phase as well. Another 2,450 attack points here. We have the Harp Horror with 1.7, we have Galatea with 1.8, and we have Dingirsu with 2.6. Magnamut is being activated. Are you going to crescendo it? Banish the Magnamut. You will not hit the field. And now it is time to put your attack position monsters there. We're going to summon multiple Horus cards. We completely forgot about those. Everything is in attack position. Are we entering the battle phase? We can